Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and I guess a couple of you video gamers out there still on the sticks, welcome back to the Indie Radio Arcade. And we promised you guys a bit of a bonus, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, straight from well over 1 year ago, probably a year and a half, since it was the 5th episode of a work in progress where this video game story was unearthed, we present to you the video game story for Math Munchers 2000. Featured with music from none other than Tekno AXE, which we will thank during the end credits for this week. So without further ado, Maestro, if you will, please hit the music like you didn't do during that live video game story. And everybody at home, enjoy! Alright, all you video gamers, welcome to yet another high-tech math munching edition of the DJ Smokey's True Video Game Stories. And the video game story that we have up on the plate for you for this week, folks, is none other than Math Munchers 2000. Or more or less, Math Munchers Deluxe. Yeah. And this game was a game that we didn't have that much time to play, but was definitely a fun game when we experienced it. So without further ado, I think it's time for us to pick up the keyboard, look at the beautiful new screen that we got from the library, as we get ready to paint the picture. Alright, this video game story took place approximately, if I was to ballpark it, just about well over 18 years ago, when I had a chance to play this game just before I left the 5th grade. And the 5th grade class was so kind to me because I was so well behaved, according to the teacher, we had a chance to actually first test this game in the library. Now, the original Math Munchers that I played as a kid, fun game. Absolutely fun game. 2-bit, 8-bit sort of creatures rolling around on the screen. Free space here, free space there. A whole bunch of creatures that tried to take you out that looked like creatures from Q*bert. And it was all right. But this game was a whole new ball game. Because not only it was featured on the brand new Macs that they had at the time, but they also featured this game to have it in 3D with new music, announcers that would be on the upper part of the screen while you were in this little miniature cube-like arena, while the announcers would say, and here we go with the first couple of math problems, let's hope he can get it, folks. Give him a little encouragement to get those numbers. And while those announcers were up there, which I think was the actual Math Munchers wearing like these sports wigs that look like regular sports commentators, sitting there commentating on the action while I was making my way around. And the creatures that tried to take you out, instead of the creatures from Q*bert, folks, it was, I think one of the creatures was a dog, another one was a bird, and there was several other strange-like creatures that you wondered, how in the world did they get in the game that was in this game? And when I was trying to get these said creatures and tried to fool them, I would usually go for the first 3 problems I knew, then go toward the free space, and then take out the rest of the problems and I'm alright. But for some strange reason, when that dog popped up and I was in the free space, which, by the way, funniest thing that happened when I was in the free space is that he would break dance in the free space since the creatures can't get him, and just go ahead and do a disco dance as well. But the dog did not care about that free space. It's like he broke the rule, the Highlander rule of Math Munchers, and just got me while I was on the free space, and everybody who was watching behind me went, oh! Which I said, how in the world is that possible? I didn't even think that was possible. How in the world was he able to accomplish that? So I would lose 1 life because of that. The second life I would lose is because I didn't realize that in between rounds, unlike the old Math Munchers, the categories are random. So if you do multiplications one round, they'll switch it up to divisible of 5s, or even divided by 5 or divided by 2 at random times during these games. And I said, hold on, I know this problem. Got it. And it said, eh. And then said, oh, he got the wrong one. We're gonna have to reset back to 1, or whatever they said as a commentary on the table saying that I got it wrong. And I was like, my God, this is only level 2. What in the world's going on? So I had a reputation to uphold, folks, because I had the high score for years in Math Munchers, and this game by level 2 was making me look like I was a rookie. So before I was about to leave and graduate on to Frillinghausen Middle School at the time, I made sure whenever I was done doing any of the work I had, whether it was math, English, social studies, you name it, I went right into the library with my free time and just played Math Munchers over and over again to get back my edge. So it came down to the last week before we were about to graduate, and I spent that little extra time in summer school, by choice, mind you, which I regret, but yet at the same time was glad I was able to do so, because I was able to, while all the other kids were in there just, cramming down on books and just trying to make up for what they couldn't do during school because, summer school, I was able to do something I wasn't able to do in the original version of Math Munchers with this game, and that was beat my original high score, which was at level 9, which was a high score of, I do believe, well over 25,376. Now, for those who are wondering at home how in the world I'm able to remember that high score, trust me, when you're at the echelon of a high score in a school where a whole bunch of people is cheering you on, you never forget that moment. So when I was able to beat that high score by well over 5,000 points, and I still had the same people cheering behind me when I did it the first time, definitely one of the most magical moments I had, and I will always carry that with me for as long as I live since I left that said school. And to this very day, folks, I have yet to see anybody beat that high score because I think they got rid of those computers since that very day. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, wraps it up for another new high score Math Munching Arena Edition of the DJ Smokey's True Video Game Stories. And with that, we'll be back with this week's $64,000 question right after a word from our sponsors. So stay tuned.